guys, welcome back to MinnieMindyReacts, and on this channel I react to the hottest content here on YouTube, and I am doing a follow-up for episodes 5 through 8 of the Ultimatum Queer Love. I was reacting to Tiff and Kari. I know what her name is now, and they are doing a breakdown of episodes 5 through 8. So that is what we're going to be reacting to today. Please get your popcorn, your juice, your wine, whatever it is that you want to get, because this is a rather lengthy video. As always, I will always post the original video down in the description bar so you can watch it without having me pause it. So we're going to jump right in to this video, and let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and let's get right to it.
What's up, weeb?
I would say welcome to the Please podcast.
I'm over you.
I'm over every time, Catherine, just so you know.
Alright. Anyway, guys, welcome to the Fweebs podcast. Welcome. If you don't know who the fuck we are, we don't blame you. But if you haven't, if this is your first time listening to the Fweebs podcast, please subscribe to us.
Yes.
On YouTube. We're always found on Spotify.
Instagram.
TikTok. Fweebs podcast, TikTok, all that stuff. Anyway, I'm Tiff.
And I'm Gotti.
And today we're going to go over the obvious big buzz that's going around. It's a show called The Ultimatum Queer Love. Unfortunately, I was on it.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, sorry, but not sorry. But we're going to be going over episodes 5 through 8 today.
Yes.
Yeah, so the second drop. If you guys haven't watched it yet, it came out May 24th, last Wednesday, episodes 1 through 4. And then this week we are going to be catching up on episodes 5 through 8. So if you're listening to this now and you have not watched episodes 1 through 4, there will be spoilers. So please go back and watch it.
Yeah, go back and watch it before we just ruin all the lesbian love for you.
Exactly.
And I'm going to say, too, I've already watched the whole season. Obviously, the whole season has been out for a while. And I'm rather late to react into this. But if you have not seen the whole season, there is going to be spoilers. Because, obviously, I've watched the whole season already. So just saying, you might get little tidbits of things that you have not seen in these episodes. So yeah.
As a little disclaimer, this is my friend Kati, and she will be going through, like, as we go through the episodes, going through the eyes of, like, an actual viewer, unbiased. And then I will be slightly biased just based on my own experience in my body as I was going through the experience, and then also have half of that and then half of, like, based on what you all see in the video as well. Yep. So, based on what I can say. So, yeah, let's just roll right forward. So we left off on episode 5. So episode 5 came out a few days ago.
Yep, so episodes 5 through. So episodes 5, we're just going to go over highlights, and then, like Tiff said, kind of just go over in detail if it needs more detail. If it's just kind of straightforward, then we're just going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
But pretty much in episode 5, what happened was Sam and you start to get along.
I know.
Which I was not expecting, because 1 through 4, like, I love Shiloh, and I will forever call her Shadow.
Shiloh's in the building, by the way. Shiloh's right over here.
Shiloh's over here.
Oh, production. She's stuck behind chairs right now. Poor girl.
She came to be a part of the episode, and she's
stuck behind these office chairs right.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I wish I could return the camera.
I know.
Poor girl.
Shiloh. Hold on, let's go get her real quick. Shiloh!
Anyways, Shiloh will make her guest appearance, but I was just like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Like,
come here, honey. Come here, say hi. Come
like,
here.
Nope.
Okay, she'll come back. Anyway, yeah, so we start getting along.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like we've really learned how to communicate.
100%.
And I could let my walls down. And then Sam's really learning how to speak up, because yes, I can come off a little bit more confrontational as opposed to what Aussie could do for Sam. But at the same exact time, I learned a lot through Sam, because I can let my energy and my walls down and receive a more gentle energy, which I did not receive from Mildred. So I think although there wasn't any like romance connections really going on, I think we needed to be with those particular people to learn a lot about ourselves,
Yeah.
all 4 degrees.
So you guys had that growth without having to have that intimacy or being like, I'm physically attracted to this person, but I can take something away and learn from them.
Yeah.
Because like the whole car ride scene was like it for me. Like you guys were riding the car, and then wait, what was it? Eunice? What was the person's name?
Who?
Well, you were like, this is my alter ego. Like, what's a sexy name?
Oh, Gertrude?
Gertrude. Eunice.
Gertrude.
Jesus Christ. Eunice. Who's Eunice? Yeah, Gertrude. Like, it was just so like organic, and it was so like just like dumb shit. But you're just like, okay, cool. Like they're just vibing on the same level.
I know.
Like they're able to like talk and like giggle and like joke around, and that's super important.
I would say after.
Yeah, because some of those names that they was coming up with, it was not hitting for me. Not hitting for me.
I got a comment on TikTok, and it was funny because they're like, "All right, you're so mean to Sam, blah blah. Like, you need to get over it." And then I was like, that happened 2 years ago. I was like, we got over it. Sam and I got over it within 2 hours after it happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you over it? It's been 2 years.
Yeah, I know. They're just now seeing it for face value. So.
Literally, yeah. After 2 hours of that particular scene that you said, like, Sam and I have been fine ever since.
It fizzled out.
Yeah. It literally was fine.
It fizzled out.
Since, yeah.
Well, that's crazy though, because you guys had that complete 180 with the two of you guys.
Yeah.
You guys became
Hi,
Lois.
my baby.
She's looking over like, do I want to come on TV? Do I not?
I know. She's like, I already had enough screen time.
She's thinking about it.
I know.
Anyways, so, and then we get to Ozzy and Mildred. So it's like you guys are like in Kumbaya land picking fucking flowers and skipping through the meadows. And then all of a sudden...
The little honeysuckles?
Yeah, pretty much. It goes to like World War III. And that's not between us, Taiwan, and China. It's between Mildred and Ozzy and...
their egos and their
Mildred's trauma. And Ozzy's has childhood trauma. Both of them have childhood trauma that's 100% unresolved.
We all brought out a level of trauma
Yeah.
on the show. I will say all of us brought out like inner things that we need to work on. I just think it was more apparent with those two energies together.
Oh, 100%.
Because
They were triggering.
Exactly. Ozzy tends to be a more avoidant style, and then like I guess I don't know what Mildred's attachment style is, but it seems to be like more. It comes off more confrontational. Confrontational, yeah.
Confrontation attachment style.
Okay.
I would say that Mildred's attachment style is kind of like not organized because and it could also be very anxious. Like maybe the reason why she's so confrontational is because she needs to know all the answers. So it could be not organized, and it could be very anxious because she definitely doesn't give me like somebody that has it like all together. And she doesn't give me somebody that is avoidant. Like she looks very confrontational from what we've seen. I mean, we don't know who she is or how she interacts outside of what we've seen, but visually what we've seen on camera is that she could be very much so anxious or disorganized.
Confrontational.
Production, Shiloh just peed. Shiloh, come here.
She just peed in the conversation.
It's okay. It's all right. We can do it. Okay. Anyway, yeah.
And then I found it like a super bit dramatic. Like I understand why Ozzy left. I fucking 100% get it. And like, you know, she went, or Ozzy went back, grabbed all their shit and fucking dipped. It was nice enough to leave Mildred a fucking note. Yeah. Because if they really wanted to be dramatic, they could have just dipped and been like, yo, production, like let her know what's up, you know?
Yeah, because that was very, very intense. Like the way Mildred was coming at her, from the scene, like in the bathroom, like it wasn't even that deep to like have a big explosive blow up like that over a bathroom. I feel like she was already feeling very much targeted and very much, pinned to be like the bad person, because even in the video she said that I don't like how you make me seem like this fucked up person on camera, and then automatically Mildred started getting like very confrontational. Oh, you can't call me out on something and then not say why you're calling me out. Like like allow people to have their feelings and to cool down from how they feel, because being confrontational like that, that's why fights happen. That's why, shit gets thrown at people. That's why, people could get seriously injured or feelings could get hurt, because you're not allowing people to figure out how they feel, what they feel. Um, and that can be very traumatizing, especially dealing with someone that may have past traumas of dealing with that. So it was very, very intense. And I give it to Aussie, because I would not have left shit. Like, I would have just been like, I'm gone. Like, you can fill her in whenever you fill her in, but I'm not coming back.
Like, they were nice enough to leave a note. Granted, if they didn't want to fucking deal with it, they don't want to fucking deal with it. That's their attachment style. But then when Mildred comes back, sees the note, kind of starts walking around, you can see, like, she starts getting upset as, like, she starts walking around.
It's a shield at first, saying, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, but 100% she cared.
Yeah. Because I think... Hold on. My dog's taking a shit.
Shiloh going through it over here. She pissing on the carpet. She shitting on the floor. Like, what's going on? Did nobody walk her? It's like...
I'm a big ass Oh my god. Hold on, guys. We'll be right back. Yeah. Shiloh's taking a shit.
Please pause.
Okay, hold on.
I mean, I truly hope that this is, obviously it would be a dog-friendly hotel, but like, god damn.
You took her out too, which is the good part.
Okay.
Oh my god. Okay.
All right, and we're back.
Shiloh's shadow had to really use the bathroom, even though they went on a walk not even
20 minutes,
15 minutes ago.
She's 13 now. I guess she just does what she wants. She's like, you know what?
It's the Gertrude in her coming.
Yeah, it's the Gertrude. Like, I do what I want. Yeah. But yeah, talking about Mildred and Ozzy. I mean, like, I can kind of see it from both sides. I see, like, I see it as, like, Aussie having boundaries. Like, this isn't what I'm used to. I'm not used to this confrontation, and this is not okay. Aussie makes a couple good points. Like, I'm not okay if when you're acting like this, like, it does, from my experience, of those conversations, like, for instance, where Aussie's, like, doing the, ironing the clothes, and then Mildred's in the bathroom. I know in my experience, I have felt like, oh Lord, this is about to grow. This is about to get worse.
Yeah.
Is that you can feel tension start to escalate.
Yeah, you start to feel cornered, even though you're not, like, physically cornered. You start to feel cornered.
And that's just how she is, though, as an individual.
Yeah, and Aussie, I feel like, tried to pull out the fire extinguisher.
A couple times.
Based on what you see, a couple times try to pull it out. But then, to Mildred's defense, you also see that Aussie's, like, saying, hey, you act different on camera. And she's like, how so? And then Aussie didn't want to talk about it. I think the reason why Aussie didn't want to talk about it anymore is because, well, yeah, but I get it where, like, how do you say something and then, like, not want to talk about it? I get Aussie's side, but I also, Mildred's side, right? But I also get Aussie's side because, like, when someone's like, well, how so?
Like, you know what you're doing.
Yeah, but how so? Like, when you, rather than having a gentle energy and being like, I'm sorry you feel that way. Like, it really wasn't my intention. Can we talk about it?
Yeah.
Rather than being like, oh, how so?
Yeah,
there's a total difference. So I get both sides. They just were not, like, that...
Nobody was wrong in the situation, but they both escalated very quickly. Yeah. And then both went back to what was comfortable for them as an individual, and then decided to... And it's more so Mildred attacked Aussie than Aussie attacked Mildred. Aussie's more about, I'm going to pack my shit up and have these grand gestures trying to leave, rather than these grand gestures on why I want to stay. And that's what Mildred needs, because she has that insecure attachment style where she was abandoned and all this stuff happened to her. So for her, somebody leaving is triggering all of those things. But then when she acts up and acts absurd, and it's not a Latina thing, she blames it on being a Latina. No, that's her own trauma. You know, she just blaming it on that to mask and to cope with whatever's happening. Instead of that being like, oh, like, it's just me, like, that's just what Latinas do. Like, no, it's not. Like, she needs to just confront her own shit. And she wants these grand gestures of, like, when Tiff would follow her, when they'd break up every week, and you would go chasing back to bring her back to show you, or to show her that you loved her, and that you wanted her. Like, she needed that. You know? Like, it's like a weird...
It can also
toxic.
get exhausted.
It's fucking toxic.
It can also...
It's a toxic balance because you have somebody that is anxious and somebody that's avoidant. That's the anxious avoidant cycle where, you know, you have one person that wants to be there, wants to be there, wants to be there, wants to be the one always chasing, but then you have one person that's like, no, fuck this, like, I'm good. And that's where toxicity comes in. I do agree with what Gotti was saying with, you know, you can't blame how fucked up you treat a person on your nationality or your ethnicity. Like, respect has no nationality or ethnicity. You respect people because they deserve to be respected until they give you a reason for you to disrespect them. And I think that's the bad thing, because people always want to do, oh, I'm from here, oh, my family's like this, my family's like that. But you always are supposed, even for yourself, you're always supposed to respect yourself and your partner enough to put whatever differences you have aside, and at bare minimum, give them respect. So you telling me, oh, that's just how I grew up because I'm Latina and blah, 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 like, that shit don't fucking matter. And that's why I was completely mind blown when she was like, oh, whatever. And I can't remember where she said she was from, Mexico or whatever. I'm Latina and we're always so used to talking over each other. Okay, but like, and I'm Puerto Rican. I'm Puerto Rican and I'm a lesbian at the same time. And my family also is used to talking over each other. But you have to change the narrative of how you grew up and what's acceptable and what's not acceptable, because you talking over somebody that you love and you not allowing them to get their point across and you not allowing them to let them feel whatever it is they feel, that has nothing to do with our culture, how we grew up. Like, you have to respect your partner. Like, it doesn't matter whether you're fucking Latina, black, whatever, white, it don't matter. Like, you have to respect your partner.
Exhausting.
Yeah, it's toxic.
So next up we have Xander and Yoli.
Oh,
they get
super gay.
Super lesbian. Thank God for them on the show.
Yeah.
Thank God for them. That's all I gotta say. Like, I would say, like, to me, you know, based on what we're seeing, it seems like they're the only ones that had, like, actually that deep romantic
100%.
connection.
100%.
And does that happen in the lesbian world? Absolutely. That is literally a mirror on so many different people. I feel like we've all been there at one point, right? But thank God for them, because I feel like they were the puzzle piece. Like, we all represented, we all represented lesbianism, or I'm sorry, sapphicness, or, you know, all that stuff in, you know, each individual way.
Yeah.
But if you did not have two people that just fell hard for each other,
this show would have flopped hard.
I mean, it could, like, you never know, it could have, because it's kind of like, I feel like the whole lesbian world or lesbian TikTok would have been like,
what's the point?
Well, no one fell for each other, so
That's not real life. That's not a real representation of lesbians.
That's
not a real representation of lesbians to love two people at one time, because we've all been through it. It's like a rite of passage in the lesbian world.
Exactly. So all I gotta say is, like, hey, I'm glad that you know, I'm glad that that's happened, because it, in some sense, you know, it does depict the reality of a lot of people out there, and as far as representation, we've all fucking fell hard. So,
and I like them together, to be quite honest. I love Mal and Yoli. I'm always gonna say that. but I love them separately. There's just something that they could work, they could not work. I just like them as individual people. Xander, I like, them as an individual person as well. But Xander and Yoli together, there's just something, and it might just be because it's new. They're in the cupcake phase also.
That is true.
Like, we can't establish or base Mal and Yoli's 3-year relationship versus 3 weeks with Xander. Like, that's just what it is. That's just what we're seeing. We're growing with the relationship, so we tend to love the relationship.
Yeah.
We have no idea from a bird's eye view what Mal and Yoli's relationship looked like, and that's just, it is what it is.
It is true.
Yeah.
What do you think that Mal and Lexi, like their whole dynamic during the trial marriage?
That's bullshit.
Why?
Because it was a friendship. They play it off as if it was something completely different, and it was not. They're like, oh.
I wouldn't say that it was bullshit because initially that's how I would rather build a relationship with, it being friends and not it being so like fiery and sexualized and all of that. Like ultimately that's what lesbian relationships are. They're, fiery, very spicy, very sexual. But I feel like when you take the friend route and like you really get to know the person that you're dating, the person that you're building this bond with, that relationship kind of like lasts longer because it's a different form of intimacy. Like we don't have to just, be physical all the time. Like we can, agree that emotional intimacy is also a thing. And I don't think that it's bullshit because, yeah, we know that we came into this experiment together with different people. It's more of like helping each other do the self-work to figure out what it is that they really wanted. And whether that meant leaving together in a newfound relationship or leaving separately, they learned enough of who they were together, what they needed apart from each other, and what they can offer the person that they end up with. So I wouldn't call it bullshit just because it wasn't as sexualized or as, intimate, because I almost rather see a relationship grow naturally without the sexual part of it than to see everything like all spicy and physical and, kissing and hugging and all of that, because that dwindles very quick once that spiciness goes away. So, I don't know. I wouldn't call it bullshit. But that's just my opinion.
Be falling for each other. Oh, this could work. Oh, this could this. Y'all were fucking friends. Y'all knew from the jump nobody was gonna fuck each other. Y'all didn't like each other. You weren't each other's fucking types. Like, let's cut the bullshit. Mal, you are never gonna end up with a white girl.
What makes you think that? Like on the for me,
dynamics.
For me, it's like what I see on the camera. I just noticed, like, maybe again, I'm gonna call myself out. There was no physical affection, but then again, here I am on the fucking ultimatum, like, physical affection is everything. Like, that's how I'm perceived at. Like, everything is physical affection.
Well,
it's
you
not
didn't
physical
take
affection.
Natasha's freaking advice. Get intimate.
I don't think. Okay,
They want to do it.
It takes me months to hold someone's hand. It takes me I feel like I'm shaking right now. I want to throw up. But it's like one, I don't want to lead anybody on.
I know.
That's one. Two, holding hands, like I will fuck a girl before I hold her hands. That's how I've always been. So it's like
hands.
I'll put hands inside you, but I will not around the skin of a hand. No, to me that's like in all seriousness, like that's something that's very intimate to me. Like that's so intimate to me. And like if I hold your hand,
and
like I'm thinking like you're my girl. No, those are walls of a fortress.
Walls of a vagina.
Okay, there's walls of a fortress, and then there's walls of someone's
skin
heart.
of your hand.
I know. Look, walls of a vulva or heart or
Is
like
it just 'cause
walls.
it's a lot softer than hands? Is that what it is?
I don't know.
I
don't know. But to hands, that's like that's so intimate, and I can't do it. I just can't do it.
You're
and I'm like a
sleepy
light
active.
switch. I'm either on or off.
I know, but you're a little super.
And I try, like, you try to go through the process and everything with Sam and her, and I started getting along, but the romance was just never there to begin with.
I get it. It just happens.
Love her to death, but I just didn't connect with anyone.
Yeah, it just happens.
It happens.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, Lexi, I just don't think that relationship was ever going to be intimate, period. I going in, I think that also Lexi knows what the fuck she wants. Like, Mal just said not right now. So Mal technically also knew what she wanted, but Lexi, like, she would ride or die for fucking right. I don't care what anybody says. And that girl knew what she wanted. She was headstrong. She was independent. She was like, this is it. This is my 5-year plan. This is what I want. This is the person that I want it with. And I'm going to have this person no matter what. She seemed like what is she, a Cancer or Capricorn? What the hell is she?
I don't know.
Whatever she gives me, actually she doesn't give me Cancer vibes because she's not a crybaby. She gives me like Capricorn vibes.
Now I'm wondering.
Yeah, I mean, we'll figure it out later. But, like, that's my thing. Like, they have their eye on the prize, and nothing is going to change that. So, Lexi would never allow herself to get into a situation to even put that at risk.
Yeah.
So, that, to me, was never going to happen. As hard as she went on episode 1, and then when the whole dating thing happened, that was never going to happen. Ever.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. But...
What was Ray's reason not to...
They
again,
didn't know
like,
what
I
they
think,
wanted.
from what I remember, I feel like it was like, I just don't know if it's going to be that one person for the rest of my life. Like, that's scary. I think it's just going to be one person.
Well, that was also Vanessa, yeah. They're young. They're like 24, you know?
But anyway, so, to wrap up that's kind of what we see in a glimpse of, like, episode 5. So rolling right into episode 6, that is the change.
Well, no, Ray and Vanessa.
What?
We met some.
Oh, I thought we already went through.
No, Ray and Vanessa.
Oh,
they're kind of like friends, too. Like, they fuck. But that's, like, about it.
I think so. I think that was like...
I think they fucked and they kind of were like, this ain't it. Like...
This ain't it.
This ain't it. Gotta go.
But they seem to
be BFFs, though.
They seem to develop a friendship throughout.
Yeah, they
like,
definitely
they have
do.
good times together and stuff throughout the...
I mean, well, you can't let it be awkward, you know?
I mean, you can. I was very awkward. I didn't
They
hold
for sure
hands
did in dental dance, so you can't let it be awkward. You
They said they did dental dam?
They
did
not.
Oh, they did not dental dam?
No, they did not dental dam.
I've never used a dental dam.
Me neither, but you know. You would think safe sex on the ultimatum.
We did take, by the way, oh my God, that was the most awkward thing.
Oh my God.
First week of all, we're dating. We're all dating. We're like, and we can't be around each other's exes. There's literally like bodyguards like preventing us to even look at our partners.
Like red tape,
yeah,
right?
like literally, I said 0 words to my ex except for what you actually saw at the cocktail parties during that entire like 10-day dating period. I remember it was like day 3 or day 4. We go briefing every morning to the tables in a hotel room where the CEO Chris Cole and like talks to us and says, hey, this is what we're going through today. These are the subjects we're going to hit when we're on our dates and everything. We're always having these briefings every morning. Well, one of those briefings that morning, we sat down and we went on like some Skype call on like a projector of a doctor and she was giving us, and we're sitting, I remember like Mildred's in my peripheral, like 2 tables down. You got Xander right in front of me. You got like, we're all sitting there and we're all clearly, some of us are connecting with people.
Yeah.
And we're having the most awkward thing happen on the projector. And it's like a 1-hour meeting. We're all talking live questions all about STDs and safe sex.
Good.
Because, and they're foreshadowing, like, when you have sex with this partner and stuff like that, we're like, what? They're like, here's what prevents you. And they're like, abstinence is the only preventative.
The epidemiologist and the public health activist inside of me is like, I commend who that doctor was. Kudos to you.
I think it's something they had to do, like just because God forbid, like if somebody, you know, like we did not all like, you know, we didn't by law have to like get checked for STDs or anything like that, but it's just one of those things like it's kind of like the cover their asses, right? Like if someone gets an STD, it's not our fucking fault.
Yeah, no.
That's all on you guys.
Holy shit.
It's like, don't say that we never talked about it.
Yeah. That was that was their catch.
Well, then also too, it's a breach in whatever with the hospital because you know that's not information that you should have anyway. So that is probably the route why they went the way they went, as far as like trying to make sure everybody knew how to protect themselves in the appropriate way. I mean, even though we're all old as fuck, but just for precautionary measures.
22 with you guys. They're like, okay, cool, it's not in the NDA, but it's in our fine print, so if you get the clap's on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. All right, episode 6.
The gift that keeps on giving.
The gift that keeps on giving. We're going to run through this quick. Tiff and Sam.
Okay, this is episode 6. We're moving right on. The changeover. We're all at the tables, and we're going back to talk about our experiences with our trial marriage partner, and then also at the very end, switch over back to our original partner to have a 3-week trial marriage with them before proposal day.
Yep.
So I think, first of all,
Tiff and Sam.
Yeah, Tiff and Sam.
You guys go first.
Yes, we go first. It was pretty meh to the point, right? Like, we had some roller coasters and it was ups and downs, and then we got to talk through it and got to have great communication. That's all I got to say, because that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. We talked about Ozzy and Mildred. We talked about the avoidant style that Ozzy has. We talked about the confrontational style that Mildred has. We also talked about the walkout and more, just how Ozzy's just like, I'm fucking done. Packed up their shit and fucking dipped. And then Mildred kind of erupted. And as the scene went on, it's just like she just kept getting more and more upset, and then kind of just melted and was just like, I was this, I was that. So then goes into victimization mode. And then that's kind of that.
And that was the thing that I didn't like about her. Was that you can't commit a crime, so to speak. You can't commit a crime and then be the victim after you committed the crime. That's not exactly how that works. And although I get that it triggered a lot for her, for Aussie to just leave like that without saying anything, but think about all the trauma on top of the trauma that Aussie already had that probably would have been caused had she just stood around and said, hey, you did X, Y, and Z, and that's why I didn't feel comfortable talking to you or whatever. And then that could have possibly blew up into something else. So you have to understand too that, in dealing with two separate people that have triggers, there's always going to be some sort of defense mechanism. So whether that's leaving because I don't want to deal with this shit, or that's going full force head first with dealing with whatever the confrontation is, there's two different fighting mechanisms. And so I think that was what kind of triggered me a lot about Mildred, because she's very she likes to antagonize the situation, especially when she sees somebody's backing down. And so I'm not beat for that type of shit. So I wasn't really feeling her in that episode.
Yeah. Well, the lash out part.
Yeah. I mean, well, before I get into that, I mean, there's a lot of.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously knowing Mildred for a long time.
Yeah, you were dating her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of, there's a human inside of everyone to some extent, that it does suck I will never know what it feels like to feel like that. I will never know what it feels like. But I do believe for all of us during this experience, it is up to us to find out those vulnerabilities and those traumas, which they all get exposed, and to take that and to learn and to apply it to our trial marriage partners or to our partners when we get back to our OG partners in the second half of the show. It's not about what's being exposed. So I don't want to discredit her or discredit anybody in what is exposed, because you saw me being exposed from my eruptness towards Sam. You see Sam. A lot of Sam. You see a lot of different traumas get exposed during that period. I think it's just more so, how do you grow from it and what do you do with it?
Yeah, you're right.
And it just seems obviously they hit it on the nail. So what I want to say is that whole changeover at the table that lasted about 6 hours. Yeah. So I think you see 15-20 minutes of it
of an actual 6-hour episode.
or a 6-hour sit down, 6-hour recording. I think there was like a 30-minute break in between or whatever to eat lunch and like for the the staff to eat lunch and stuff like that. But that was a very long episode. But I remember I remember when Mildred and Aussie were going at it back and forth. There was a clip of me that like kind of chimed in and was just like, well, what does that say to you, Aussie? Like, when times get hard, that you're just going to leave your trial marriage when times get hard? Are you, like, what does that say about you, And I felt like in that moment, I was, like, stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? Because here I am, like, I love Mildred, and then I developed this very deep care for Sam. Yeah. And I don't know what the fuck happened between Mildred
Sam
and
Aussie, yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know what happened between Mildred and
Mildred
Aussie.
and Aussie.
Like they're, like while we're going through trial marriages, we're having very, very, very minimal contact with our exes and stuff like that. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know who to believe. And then, of course, being anyone's ride or die person, whatever, like you're going to have a bias over your partner. 100%. So I was sticking up for that. I'm like, because Mildred's like, you robbed me of the experience, and I kind of felt like that too. Like, shit, now I got to inherit your problem that you left because things got a little bit hard. You're avoidant, Aussie, and then I have to inherit and come back to Mildred when she's like already feels abandoned on top of feeling abandoned, and now I have to be extra delicate with how I talk to her and everything, and that's just like going to be everything, And then on the flip side, I also felt like with Sam, part of me was protecting Sam because we developed this really good relationship, and it was her journey, I remember, in so many different, time periods we were together, for her to learn how to speak up. Yeah. And because she was speaking up, like now I see it that if they actually have a conflict with each other, that Aussie would be 10 times more likely to leave at that point. So I'm like, you better not leave when times get hard.
Absolutely not.
No. Mildred said that, I remember Mildred saying to Aussie that she got robbed from the experience. Yeah. I think there was a 3-week period. I think Aussie left in the last week. Yeah. If you think about it, that's a whole like 7, 8, 9 days or something that like you cannot have this experience that people would fucking kill to go on this experience for. And I see it personally, interested to get your point of view, but I see it from both sides. At the time period, I saw it more from Mildred's side, of course. Because I'm like, damn, now I gotta inherit all this shit. But then I see it from Aussie's side too. I'm wondering, because I'm looking at it like, was that part of Aussie's journey of establishing boundaries? Or... but then again, what are Aussie's boundaries? Like, it doesn't seem like you can really push that much before you cross Aussie's boundaries. Yeah. So what do you think?
I think it's a mix of both. I'm just going to put this out there. I have no remorse for anybody who does not work on their trauma, because everybody's exposed to trauma. Everybody has trauma. You and I have trauma. Everybody goes through their own trauma, no matter what. But people choose to be better. People choose to work on their trauma, but these two individuals decide to sit in their trauma and use that trauma to explain why it is that they do what they do.
And that's the importance of being trauma-informed, by the way, because sometimes you don't recognize your own shit.
They don't.
Until you're trauma-informed.
And even if they are trauma-informed, and this is just me speaking from what I've seen, both of them know exactly what their traumas are because they both speak about it in the episode. My mom left me. My grandma died. Aussie, my shitty ass relationship with my parents. How my parents treated me. They 100% know what their traumas are. Okay. They 100% know what their triggers are. And they still continue to do the same bullshit.
That kind of goes into the date of Sam and Aussie later on. Which we'll talk about a little later.
But that's my whole thing. Like, Aussie's upset and was like, no, you've crossed the boundary. Okay, cool. But also, like... like how you said, your boundaries are your boundaries. How much did Aussie really take away from the experience? And with Mildred, I'm happy somebody fucking left you again, because you're using your trauma to manipulate other people and eventually become a narcissist because you're not getting what you want. And it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
They're just not a compatible couple.
Oh, 100%.
Can you imagine, though, if there actually was romance between them?
Absolutely not. They would kill each other. They would fucking... This show would have went from the Ultimatum to the first 48.
just like that.
Like this, overnight. The production team would have woke up and they wouldn't have not answered the door, and it would have been like a murder-suicide of the entire floor.
Oh, my God.
And we all know who I'm talking about.
So, I'm thinking, like... If they actually were romantic with each other, Aussie running away.
Oh,
I think because Mildred wants to be chased. I mean,
Mildred
from
loves the chase.
Well, I mean, based on what you see, right? We can't give too much away, but based on what you see, I mean, like, I'm constantly running after her.
You literally said you guys would break up every week and you would chase her.
Yeah.
Nat called you out on that fucking bullshit.
Oh yeah, Natasha.
Yeah, Natasha.
By the way.
You know, Natasha called you out on the fucking bullshit. Like, it's fucking wild. Mildred, you're a grown-ass woman with a child. Like, you don't even chase toddlers like that anymore. And that's how this grown-ass woman wants to be chased. Absolutely not. That's not the vibes. I can't. I just cannot. And then with Ozzy, too, like, okay. Like,
Not she coming for Mildred, but she's speaking facts, though. She's speaking facts.
Kind of person, like,
Brilliant, aren't you right now?
My thing is, like, with Ozzy too, like, if you're gonna pack up your shit and go, like, all right, bet, don't come back.
Here, let me ask you this, because everyone's shitting on everybody. The world's shitting on me. The world's shitting on everybody. Like, everybody, okay? Let me ask you about this, and this is we cannot shit on Sam. It's just Sham wasn't Sham Wild. Sam was not shittable. Like, there's no way for her to be shittable.
No.
Is there a constructive criticism for Sam or no? I don't think there is.
Sam, I just really like the cardigan that you wore in episode 2. I think you're a beautiful ass fucking woman, and that cardigan was not it for me.
I don't even know what a cardigan is.
It's like a librarian. Like, bitch, you have a beautiful ass body.
It's the librarian.
It's the sexy librarian.
It's the sexy librarian.
That's what it is.
So there is no shame in
Gertrude.
that. There's no shame in sexy librarian.
That's the only thing I have.
Okay,
like,
but what's a cardigan again? Is
a cardigan.
A cardigan is where you put the...
No, that's a shawl, babe.
Oh, shawl.
A cardigan is like, do you remember in school, were you in the East Coast when they went to fucking uniforms? Do you remember?
No.
We never
did.
We never went to, okay. A cardigan is it's like a, how do I explain that?
Production. What's a cardigan?
A cardigan.
It's like a sweater. A cardigan is like a sweater, but it's more like, it's almost like you wear it open and it has buttons on it so you could close it if you want to, but like it's a more fancy version of like a sweater. But they can also be very light. So it just depends on like the thickness of it. But like it could be like a lightly made sweater, or like just, I don't know how to explain a cardigan.
It's cardigan.
It's
like a sweater, but with buttons. Instead of a zipper.
It can be a crop, it can be long, it can be mini size.
Oh, and it can be like down to the knees sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're going out.
Okay, so she was wearing a cardigan. Yeah. Okay.
That's it. It's the only thing I can shit on Sam. I fucking love it.
It's like, you didn't shit on that. It's like constructive criticism.
Bitch, you're hot and fucking own it. That's it.
And
you're hot.
Yeah, Sam's a baddie. All right, so
what else do you want me to shit on?
Let's get
warmed up.
All right, moving along, we got Ray and Vanessa at the choice night. Okay, so I think what they were saying was basically like, despite hooking up, that there was a friendship that developed.
Never worked out. Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Okay. I really don't like either one of them, to be quite honest. And it's not that Ray's like whatever, like cool, like Ray, you're athletic, you're this, that, and the third, but like you're just young and you're kind of just like there.
She's like 28.
She's like 24 or 25.
Ray?
I think so.
No, Ray was 28 during filming. 27,
so 28. Who's 24? Lexi?
Lexi's 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ray's just like, to me, is like tofu. Like, it's not anything until you put sauce on it. So
I disagree on that.
Well, that's how you are.
That's how you see it. That's how you get
exactly. You might be the coolest fucking person.
No, however, no, because you do when Ray comes back to the trial marriage with Lexi in the second half of the show, they're on the beach. And I remember her speaking up, and she was like, "Will you just listen to me?" And she was like, and you see her here, like her talking her points, like, you know, it's hard for me to feel these things. It's hard for me to speak up. It's hard for me, you know, like, who am I? You know, there's all this stuff is coming to the surface.
Well, that's good.
Which maybe, I don't know. I'm not in their relationship.
Yeah.
But possibly Could it be that like maybe Lexi was tend to dominate more of the relationship?
Well, yeah.
Just
not only did her boobies dominate, she dominated. So 100%.
But like maybe she just took the lead more with Ray.
Well, yeah, she was definitely the line leader for sure.
Yeah. So I think that gave Ray an opportunity to like speak up and stuff like that.
Yeah, but also Ray also taught, and this is just me, I listen to what everybody says, and the little cookie crumbs that they left throughout the entire episodes were, what do I want? What does Ray want? Ray doesn't even know what she wants. Ray doesn't ask what she wants. Ray kind of just goes along with the flow. Ray does whatever their friends.
And that's what I said too in the last video of what my vision of Ray was. My first impression of whatever. I very much got that she was just a go with the flow kind of person. Like, she wants to enjoy life and she wants to go through things as they come and not be anchored down into, oh, we got to have a house, we got to have a marriage, we got to have kids, we got to do this. Like, she wants things to come with time, and that's the vibe that I got from her. So I mean, she gave that off straight from the gate, that she was very much so a go with the flow kind of person.
Wants. Ray compares their life to their friend's life. Like, you're 28, be your own person. I don't think Ray knows what Ray wants because Ray doesn't know who Ray is. Ray likes who she is with Lexi, but that does not mean that Ray knows who Ray is.
Yeah.
That's a completely different conversation.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I mean,
if I were to go be in an elevator, remember that stupid elevator pitch thing, or it was like, give me your best elevator pitch. I'm pretty sure if I got stuck in an elevator with Ray, I'd be like, oh, tell me about yourself. I feel like I would get a fucking, like how she blacked out in that episode, deer in headlights. They wouldn't even know what to tell me.
I'd be like, well, what's really funny in person?
I'm not doubting that. I just think that they're just still developing.
I think I adore that, but like I also think that Ray, from what I gathered, like during the whole experience, I think it was very hard for us all, and we were just kind of like learning best how to navigate an entire relationship dynamic shift in our relationships as we're being on camera. And, and that could be so rocky, and you're so vulnerable, and sometimes we don't know how to embrace vulnerability.
100%.
Me, in vulnerability, I embrace that shit. I rip it wide open, and it is fucking ugly, and you'll see ugly sides of me, but I need to experience that ugly side in order to learn from it and get over it. Some people embrace vulnerability differently, is all I'm going to say. It doesn't mean
I think too, it could also be not that she only knows who she is in a relationship with Lexi, but I think also too, it's very easy when you're in a relationship with somebody for a long period of time, whether that's 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, to lose yourself, because you get so caught up in who you are with this person that you lose who you were before you got with that person. You lose all the interest in the things you used to like before. Like, if she liked meatloaf, now, because she's been with Lexi for however long, not it's just a dialogue, but like, if Lexi didn't like meatloaf or video games or basketball or whatever, it kind of dims down, and you don't want to do things that your partner doesn't like or doesn't have interest in with that person, because it makes it not enjoyable. And you lose yourself trying to be what this person wants or what this person needs, or how this person would like you to act, or go along with the flow of whatever way that person wants it to be. Like, that can be very you can lose yourself that way. And maybe that could be why she doesn't know who she is, or why she doesn't know what she wants, because Lexi is forcing everything that she wants on her.
It's wrong doesn't mean it's right.
No, there is no wrong or right way. This is just me. Like I said, I am allowed to be the viewer and voice my opinion because I don't have a Netflix NDA. And I don't really know any of you bitches. So if you guys get offended with what I say, oh fucking well. Everybody else is thinking the same shit. So, Vanessa, poor girl. I guarantee you're a nice girl somewhere. To somebody. But like, you're just not my cup of tea. Like, it's just not it. Like, your dad is my cup of tea though. Fucking on point.
Yo,
love that man.
Like,
he speaks
cool ass
truth.
hippie.
Cool ass hippie
vibes. Yeah.
Yeah, he gives me 100% California burrito vibes.
California burrito?
Yeah, like he's the French fry inside of the California burrito.
Oh, I was thinking he was like the avocado in a turkey club.
That's you. Our fucking East Coast side. I'm fucking dead.
But he was cool.
I don't know. There's just something about like Vanessa just comes off to me as selfish and just cannot be in a monogamous relationship. I just don't see that.
Vanessa comes off as a very narcissistic master manipulator, because the way she spoke to Xander throughout the whole season and like how she tried to manipulate Xander into feeling how she felt, or, oh, don't you think I look pretty? Or say you love me too. Say it, Xander. Like, it's shit like that that was giving me very much eat the cake anime, eat the cake. And I don't fuck with that. Like, I don't like it. Allow people to feel how they feel, allow people to express whatever they feel. And if she feels like in that moment she does not love you for whatever reason, or she doesn't like you, allow her to feel that. Because when you take away people's choices and how they're supposed to feel, it fucks shit up. And I've had to learn that lesson too. Like, you can't take away somebody's decision on how they view things or how they feel about things, because then it just becomes a bigger problem later on in the long run.
From you.
Yeah, but there's not anything wrong going into that.
There's
like
not.
you see if the grass is greener on the other side with somebody. Like,
Yeah.
So that's the whole point. Like, one of the many things of why we go onto the show to begin with is to explore another person. So like my opinion.
I'm sorry, y'all. These videos are long as fuck. And although I'm enjoying it, I'm also very tired because I have a toddler that's been running me ragged all day. So excuse me if I'm like yawning or rubbing my eyes or whatever, because I'm tired. But I wanted to get this content out because I'm happy that she's breaking this down in the way that she's breaking it down.
Opinion, she was literally putting into practice what she thought. Like,
What's
what she
supposed to
kind
happen,
of
yeah.
was kind of supposed to happen. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I don't know if there's someone else out there.
Yep.
Like, if like, is there going to be anyone else out there for me? Even if it's not Ray, like, I need a chance to explore myself.
She just gives me baby lesbian vibes.
Baby
to be quite
lesbian.
honest, you came out later in life. You and Xander both liked men. Then you guys were like, oh my god, I'm queer, I'm out, lesbianism, right? And then Xander dated one other person. Vanessa dated, I think, just Xander. May or may not have hooked up with other people, whatever. But I remember in the show saying that like this was her first actual real girlfriend.
Yeah, and it's a long-term relationship.
And it's a long-term relationship. I think that
I get it.
Vanessa's just like, I'm a hot, horny lesbian because I came out later in life and I have serious FOMO and I'm a baby lesbian and I want to go have fucking fun.
I think also too, it could be, and I say this all the time to like all my friends that are straight, like going through it with their boyfriends or husbands or whatever, and they be like, oh, we just about to cross over to the other side. No, keep your ass over there because you don't want these problems. And I tell them that all the time because with women, it's so much more emotional. It's so much more like of a connection. And it can get very heated very quickly, and it can also fucking burn down very quickly too. And I want to say with my experience as being a lesbian, I've taken a major hit, like emotional wise, more than I ever had with men. And it takes a bigger emotional toll because you expect that because this is another woman that they would understand that this is how you feel and this is why you feel this way. And in most cases, especially dealing with mask identified women, they're like fucking 100 times worse than men. So, and I love masculine presenting women like a lot, a lot, a lot. Like that is my preference. But that is what I've noticed. Like sometimes they are so like out of fucking tune with how a woman really fucking feels that they're just oblivious to it. So like, I tell all my straight friends, like, no, keep your ass over there. Don't come over here with that bullshit. Because you're gonna be hurt a lot worse than you would have if you would have just stood over there because it's a lot more emotional. It's a lot more intentional. And the thing about women is that they aim to please. And while that seems very tantalizing and like, you know, um, while that seems like the reason why to come join, don't. So, I understand, like, that being her first relationship with a woman, she's probably never felt like that in any of her, um, relationships with a man, and that's why she is so eager to go fuck with Ray or go do this or go do that because she wants to see if this is just a feeling that's happening with Xander or is this something that can be intensified or dimmed down by getting these experiences with other women. So it could be very much so baby lesbian or whatever, even though she's older. But I don't know. I think that she just is an asshole. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, it's the way she tried, and it could just be because she's been so used to manipulating Xander all this time that she's just comfortable with being an outright asshole. But um, it's just how I feel about it.
That's just the vibes that you give me. It's what it is. Baby lesbian vibes.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, like, also, okay, let's think of it in a straight relationship, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say you're 19 and have, like, you're a woman, you're 19, and you've had sex with one guy in high school. And then all of a sudden you you meet another guy in college and you date him, and then you've been dating him for 8, 9, 10 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, before you get married, or maybe it's like 4, 5, 6 years, and you're now 25, 26 years old, right? And you're like, this person wants to marry you, this guy wants to marry you, but you're like, I haven't experienced that much else out there. That's a really gray matter area that's hard for a lot of couples to navigate.
100%.
Because it's like, I love this person so much with all of my heart, but I actually, like, I only have one life, and I haven't, like, really been able to live that. Like, for me personally...
But how much do you love that person if you want to still have those experiences and then potentially have that person back if it doesn't go well?
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's a tough question.
It's rough.
It is hard to navigate, it's hard to feel, and it fucking hurts.
100%.
It fucking hurts, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you love the person any less, and that's what I will say. I've never been in that situation, but...
I have. Your feelings... Sometimes love is not enough, but your feelings are always valid, no matter how it makes the other person feel, and no matter how it looks to other people. No matter what, those are the things. But also too, we weren't like how I think it was Vanessa's dad who said it. Like we were not meant to live this long as humans.
Yeah.
When the institution of marriage was established, we were living until 25, 30 years old, and that's 100% accurate. That was like geriatric. Now geriatric is like fuck. I'm gonna be 90, you gonna be 90, you're gonna be on oxygen tanks. Like, do I just want to turn the air off one morning and just be like, gotta go? Like, the thought of that.
Do a prank on me and not change my diaper.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, you have to be thinking about it like Jen says, right? Like, my girlfriend Jen goes, when you're at your deathbed and you have somebody holding your hand, who is that person? Imagine that person being the person that you're with. Do you want that to even be that person? And if it's not, then that's not your person.
I think too, especially now with our generation, because I'm also in my 30s, I think too, a lot of people don't think that far. A lot of people think with, oh, this is fun and, life really just started getting started and, they don't think, oh, like, fuck, like when I'm like 70, 80, 90 years old and I can't lift my fucking leg up to wash my ass crack or like, I can't change my own diaper or I can't get dressed by myself. Like, a lot of people don't think that far. They only bask in the moment of whatever the fuck is happening, whether they're dating different people or actually in a relationship with someone that might not be who they could see a long-term relationship with. They don't think that far. And that unfortunately plays out in a lot of these relationships with, oh, it's just fun right now, but like, can I actually see this person when I'm like 70, 80 years old? Nobody thinks that far. And I think that's where the downfall happens because you're not going to always be in your 30s. You're not going to always be in your 40s. Like, eventually you're going to get older and older and older and older. And you have to have that mindset. Like, if I lost a limb, because even down to injuries, is that person that you're currently with right now going to take care of you? If for whatever reason you lose a leg or arm and you can't take showers how you used to, you can't fuck how you used to, like, is that person still going to stick beside you through that? And if you don't know the answer to that, that's your problem. You already know that that person is not the person for you if you don't know the answer to that, or if you don't believe that what they say they will do is the answer.
That's deep.
Yeah. I know. It should be like a quote inside one of those.
Can I have like a room full of like 15 people though? And
You could. But like when we're talking about like the ultimatum experience, like that's what the ultimatum should have asked. Like if you are shitting yourself dying on hospice, would this be the person you want standing next to you, taking care of you?
To smell you when you leak everything out?
When your C. diff ass is out there just with fluids and all.
When you go into livor mortis?
Livor mortis.
Is that what it's called?
No.
Rigor mortis.
Rigor mortis.
Production. It's called rigor mortis.
A liver mortis. I can't say the word.
Rigor mortis.
Rigor mortis.
Rigor mortis.
Rigor mortis.
I'm saying it wrong now because there's.
All you know it's like this.
First of all, Tiff is taking it too motherfucking deep because that's literally dead. That's what happens when you're literally dead.
When you just go stiff.
That's after you're dead.
Yeah, it happens hours.
Okay. Yeah, hours, okay.
I mean, your jaw, it's really hard to keep your jaw closed, so we kind of tie it with a little bit of shit.
And you gotta close the eyes, right?
So, no, that's fake. That's fake news.
Yeah.
Right, production? Some people's eyes will close, some people's eyes will just flop right open, and that's it.
All right, so anyways, moving along, we're at the choice again, still in episode 6.
Lexi and Mal, friendship vibes.
I get friendship vibes.
Yeah.
I get friendship vibes.
Yoli and Xander.
Huh. Okay, I'll unpack it first, and then you unpack it. So, like, to me, it came off, I can see Yoli, definitely. Like, during the experience, I will say that Yoli definitely fell for Xander. I can definitely see that. And it's 2 ultimatum givers. Both people who are ready for marriage. That is the perfect recipe.
That is a yes.
It's a perfect recipe.
That is like the #1 winner at the chili cook-off competition.
Yes, exactly. 100%. Like you're setting yourself up for success.
For success, yeah.
I think they definitely were that typical lesbian U-Haul relationship, and thank God, like we said earlier, thank God they were there because like here it is. And Mel have said that Yoli falls fast, and that does happen. And I think to Yoli's, like, again, I can't
speak for anybody else.
This is based on what I see again in the video clips, because I wasn't a fly. That would have been cool, but like I'm not a fly on the wall to like see what all these cast members are going through with their significant others or their trial marriage partners. So I don't know what it was like because I'm not there. So I can only speak so much, and like from the interactions that I've had with Yoli, like maybe at the group settings or like things like that. But it was funny because to me it seemed like, the little bits I saw with them during production, it seemed to me like they were bored. But the way that Yoli interpreted it, so I was like, y'all are like just seem boring. But then again, here I am. Fucking, I'm like, if it's not passionate, it's boring.
That's not passionate. If it's not la tóxica, it's boring.
It's not la tóxica, that's boring.
It's
so
okay.
I'm taking it with a grain of salt. I'm taking it with a grain of salt. So to me, that's how it came off. But it actually surprised me actually hearing about it, because I think at one of the group night outs, Yoli's telling me like, hey, it's actually like, it's really great. And so it makes sense to me. I think that that Xander was showing up in ways like, hey, let me make your coffee in the morning. Like, let me do this. Maybe in ways, I don't know, but maybe in ways that Mal wasn't providing for Yoli.
Yeah.
And again, so it seemed to fit. The logistics, everything seemed to fit, but there also was an element of romance. And when you blend those two together, it becomes that much more complicated in Yoli and Mal's dynamics when they get back together.
100%. I think that Xander just checked off all of Yoli's boxes. And that's just, it is what it is. Like I said, I love Mal. I almost said Mel. Because our friend's name is Mel. I love Mal, love Yoli, love Xander. All as three different individual points. Like as if they were the fucking Bermuda Triangle. But I'm going to get lost crossing those motherfucking waters. You know, between the three of them. Because it's
going to go off radar.
We're going to go off radar and be missing like that plane in 1942.
Yeah, Amelia Earhart.
Yeah. No, she...
What happened to Amelia Earhart?
She just died.
No, Amelia Earhart went missing.
In the Bermuda Triangle?
Production.
Can we get a fact check?
Can we get a fact check on Amelia Earhart?
I think it was somebody else. I know there's been a couple planes.
She got lost and they're like, is she still alive?
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you are right. But I don't think it was over the Bermuda Triangle, was it?
I don't know.
It was just out at sea.
I think she went like to fly around the world or something.
Yeah. Anyway. But just checked off all their boxes. It just is what it is. I think that Mal, I know that you...
But the thing about checking all of somebody's boxes, how many people can fucking do that? And I think that's another thing too with like being in relationships with people where like it's so easy for them to fall, because you know you're always going to have new boxes that somebody needs to check, because you're not going to stay the same person forever. And sometimes the way or the things that you need right now may not be the things that you need in the next 10 years, or the person that you're with might not be able to consistently check those boxes. So once again, that's where compromise comes in. So then what happens when, for whatever reason, that person is not able to check her boxes? What happens? Is she going to once again be on somebody else's fucking yard? Like, I'm trying to understand why it's so easy for her to consistently fall in love with different people, and not be able to diagnose the difference in the people that she's choosing to fall in love with. You know, it's just a lot. It's a lot to unpack. It's a lot to unpack.
I said I'm not ready for... It's not that I'm not ready for marriage. It's just not right now. Xander's like, I want this, 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 and this. There, like you said, it was a recipe for success.
Yeah.
And that fucking sucks. Because all they had to do is be like, you want this, you want this, you want this. And then the icing on top and the whipped cream and the cherries and all the good bullshit were the finances.
But
that Xander had.
Yeah, I think that
with
was
IVF,
something about like in health insurance.
Bitch, a physical therapist with health insurance, money aside for IVF, and other expenses. All the lesbians are going to come flocking.
Now let me do this thing. Okay, so this is my question. With a accelerated, don't give me.
And you don't even have to have money for IVF, honey, because I had my baby without it, and I did not have to have sex with no man. I ain't have to do none of that. So you ain't even got to have money for the IVF, baby girl.
We're on an accelerated yet 3-week experiment with a trial marriage partner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to quote Kinetic's other show, but can love be blind?
Yeah.
Do you think it was real or not real?
I think it was.
Or do you think it was real in the time? Like,
no, I think it was. I think right now, based on all the social settings that you and I have been in, and watching the episodes and forming my own opinion while Jen and I are watching the show and talking to our Fleebs group, the amount of individuals that are rooting for Xander and Yoli to be together, it's not just because they were that juicy, spicy relationship that people are like, oh my god, I love this couple because you're watching them evolve together. I think they truly fell in love together. Mm-hmm. I think that their love is blind because they both came in on the same chapter.
Yeah.
So it does not matter what the book ending says. They both came in on the same page.
They were in, how do I say it? The stars aligned for them.
100%.
Everything, logistically and feeling wise. Like I remember Xander saying like, hey, I want kids. Hey, I want to get married. But when, from what I see and from what I hear, and again, I've never really have sat down with Vanessa and Xander and just had a fucking 5-hour million conversation.
Just let it out.
No, I'm saying, but I never...
Stop apologizing. We know that they don't mean it.
I never said sorry. What do you mean stop apologizing?
Like, you're always like, sorry. Just to be clear.
No,
I did not.
No, it's not that.
Disclaimer, we're adding it here anytime Tiff talks.
No.
Disclaimer.
I'm just bluntly saying I've never been in a... Like, I love them both, right?
100%.
I've never been in a situation where Xander and Vanessa have talked about the intricacies of their relationship from beginning to end, and I just sat and talk to them for 5 hours. That has never happened. I get only so much access, right? Yeah. And then I talk to them individually. So it's like, I don't know, and I'm also talking about shit that happened like a year and a half ago. So like, I don't know all these things, but from what I kind of gathered, it's like, I think that Xander feels like they may not be treated well enough in their relationship.
Well,
and when you have someone that is treating you,
I mean, we seen that on the video. Like, we seen it in recording. Like, she was telling her fuck off at the damn table. She was, Xander, say you love me. Say it, Xander. Like, Xander didn't have her own feelings and her own opinions because fucking Vanessa was too busy trying to force whatever she wanted on her. So, I mean, we seen that she wasn't being treated well.
Nicely, and on top of that, you're sexually attracted to this person.
Well, yeah.
And on top of that, like, this person does want marriage. This person does want kids right now and wants to pump them out because Yoli's 34 at this point. So and then the IVF, and then like the insurance, like everything's like the dots all fucking connected. And when the dots connect, like I said, when you add romance into it, it becomes that much more difficult.
Like I said, I'm a details person, and I can 100% recall and remember, because Jen and I paused the fucking episode and looked at each other, and I was like, oh bitch, if you and I ever had children, and let's say I carried a child, that does not make that child any less of yours or any more of mine.
Okay.
And that was also a conversation that Xander and Vanessa had. That if something were to happen, that child was not Xander's. How the fuck would that make you feel? Like, that's wild. That's crazy. And I think that is why they talked about kids so quick, because I think that Xander needed to understand that paradigm, what Yoli's thoughts were on that. And they're just being vulnerable. Yeah.
And that's different too. Like, I mean, I'm not going to go too much into it this session, but like, when you have a baby together at the same exact time, regardless of whose sperm it is or whose tummy it comes out of, or, like, whatever. Not tummy, you know what I mean.
Uterus.
Is it ovaries or uterus? I don't know. Okay, but like, regardless of that, that is, you're having the child together at the same exact time. Yeah. And then there's other elements too, like when stepkids and this and that come
like
in.
Like a blended family.
Blended family. Like that's, it's gray matter area, and that's what I will say about this whole show is I don't think everyone is purely black and white, good and evil. I think we're all gray, except for Sam. Sam's great. Sam just, I don't know. Like,
Sam's just looks beautiful.
Yeah. Fucking Knuckles.
I know, sorry guys.
Good fuck. Oh, God. Oh, no. ASMR, man. That's not, oh my God. We just lost like 20 subscribers. Anyway,
I'm sorry guys.
Oh God, we'll work on it. But I think everyone's gray matter. Like everyone has things to work on. Everyone has like ups and downs.
Yeah.
Like it's a human experience that is brought out in 8 weeks. If you went on a human, like crazy experience of 8 weeks and you are a human, which I know you are, and you went through 8 weeks of this bullshit, just living your life in an intense experiment, at some point in time, the human side of you is going to come out, and humans are gray. They are not black and white.
We are not AI. We
Yeah.
are off the chain.
We're off the chain. We're not binary. We're not zeros and ones
No.
and all that shit.
No.
Okay, so now...
All right, to wrap up Yoli and Xander, I think
Yeah.
that the juicy part was, though, like, Vanessa, 100%, like, Vanessa, you got balls. She was just like, so do you love Yoli? Like, did you fuck Yoli? And Yoli boomeranged that shit right back and was like, that's something that we need to discuss in private and that you need to talk to Xander about. And if Xander wants to share that with you, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Granted, that's not how it was said, but, like, that's just me paraphrasing. But that's what I got out of it. I was just like, oh, fuck.
When Vanessa asked if Yoli and Xander did anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have mixed thoughts about that. I have mixed thoughts because it's like, yes, we're all here to like confront our issues, but I think Vanessa has a right to ask that question.
100%.
Right to ask that question. But I kind of see Yoli's point of view because it's very weird to just talk to both people at the same time. And I have my 2 cents on it.
Yeah.
It's hard to talk to two people at the same time. It's like, I do believe that with your original partner, they do deserve to have a one-on-one discussion about that.
100%.
But here's where it's different. It's like, if you're going to have a one-on-one discussion with your partner about what the fuck happened or how you felt about that other trial marriage partner, then you need to be honest with them.
Yeah,
you need to be honest with them, because what I don't condone is going to one partner and saying like, hey, I love you so much, and then going to another partner and being like, yeah, nothing really happened between her and I, or it wasn't really that big of a deal. Like, at that point, if you want to have private discussions, that's fine, but at least both parties need to hear the same exact fucking truth.
Yep.
Because when you're together, if that's the reason why you want to have these separate conversations, so you can go off and be kind of like
sketchy,
a little funny, if you move a little funny with that, then that's not cool. But I see the reason why people and couples want to not want to have that conversation in general at the same exact time.
But with that being said, let's jump into episode 7. I feel like Lexi's a little obsessed with Vanessa at this point. Like, just let it fucking go. I get it. You don't fucking like the girl. I get it.
It is hard.
Girlfriend.
It is hard to get over someone having, in the real world, it is hard to get over someone, your person having sex with somebody else. I don't think that goes away in 3 weeks. I don't think it goes away.
No.
But in order to move forward up to proposal day, you need to figure it out. You need to figure it the fuck out. Be like, shit or get off the pot at this point.
Yeah.
You know?
Agree. Xander and Vanessa reconnect when you guys go to have those fucking cocktails.
Yeah.
No, wait. No, that's Yoli. I'm thinking of Yoli. Xander and Yoli. Xander and Vanessa, no, they do reconnect and on their little date.
Yeah. So
this is intimate.
Now we're in episode 7.
Yeah.
7.
They get more intimate. I think Vanessa says I love you. Xander kind of was just like, you too. So I was kind of like, at that point, like, do you love her or do you not love her? Because if you don't love her.
Yeah, that's the one where she was like, say you love me back, Xander. Say you love me back. Say it, Xander. Like, girl, like, if she don't want to say she love you too, like, you can't fucking force somebody to love you. Like, ooh, that was so irking to me.
Just fucking tell you with Yoli.
Well, what happened, actually, I want to backtrack real quick. What happened during the scene where, like, obviously Xander says to Yoli, like, hey, I love you. But then you also see a scene, and again, I don't know the timing of these things. I don't know anything. This is just what I'm seeing off the TV.
Yeah.
And I wasn't there. But when Vanessa got back with Xander and then asked Xander, do you love Yoli? And then she goes, I don't know. Do you think that was to, like, not hurt Vanessa, or to, like, so Xander could have her pie, or their pie, and, like, eat it too, kind of thing? Or, like, what, like...
I definitely believe that it was because she didn't want to hurt Vanessa. Because how do you effectively tell someone that you love somebody else without hurting them? There's no way to do that. And I feel like because she tried to spare her emotions, that's why she said, I don't know.
Well, I'm trying to get into the brain of that based on what we see.
I think, this is just my opinion, and this could have just been, there's two ways of it. This is me if I was sitting in Xander's shoes. I think Xander is like, hey, I don't want to tell the truth because I don't really know what I'm feeling right now, and I'm still trying to navigate and establish who I really do love, but I do have feelings for both of these people, right? Mm-hmm. That's the first one. Like, they're unsure of who they love the most. They know for a fact they love Vanessa, but now they're 100% head over heels over this fucking person that just came the fuck out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. And it's changing their entire paradigm shift, right? You have to think of it that way. Also, too, this is an 8-week thing. Mm-hmm. How the fuck is that going to look like when you guys leave? If you and Vanessa live together and you guys have a home and you guys are establishing roots, how the hell do you pack up all of that stuff and just move on with somebody new who doesn't even live in the same state?
Yeah.
That is also something that you have to think about. That is probably going back in the subconscious mind of Xander, being like, how is all of this, how logistically speaking...
We know long-distance lesbian relationships.
Oh, we love that
it's
shit.
A walk in the park.
Across the country, we'll be there, babe.
Yeah.
Got my passport.
We just fly across the Pacific and go visit Xander in fucking Hawaii. Right.
But it's just, that's the logistics of it.
Yeah.
And then the other side of me is kind of like, I don't want to come in hot and heavy and say, yeah, I did fall in love with somebody, because I want to give my person, we came here for an ultimatum. I want to give my person that chance to show me if they really fucking changed or not authentically. Yeah. And if they did not fucking change, then I'm out.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
You know?
It's tough. It comes down to the wire. Like, I think, when we go back to our original partners, you got 3 weeks. You got to figure your fucking shit out or not. And I think, I will say all of us took proposal day extremely seriously. We did. Like, after I think being in not brainwashed, but engraved for so long, every single day you're talking about proposal day. Day 1 we're talking about proposal day. Day 4 we're talking about proposal day. Day 45 we're talking about proposal day. So this day, this proposal decision day, we all took very, very, very fucking seriously at the time. But then
it was you and Mildred fucking fighting again because she's la toxica
by that fireplace.
It is what it is, with her shit.
Yeah,
there's Latina, this is what you wanted.
There's a couple scenes you see of
I can't.
Natasha, we were first at the table.
Yeah.
And then, moving right along into the fireplace. I remember, I think I just remember being in my body in that time period. That date lasted fucking 2 hours. Actually, no, it did end a little short because Mildred walked off. There was a shortened date.
I will give credit where credit's due. We all know my stance on Mildred. It has nothing to do with Chip. It has to do with the representation of Latinas in general. And that shit irks the fuck out of me. Irks the fuck out of me. Yes, we're spicy. Yes, we're a fucking good time. But you don't have to be la toxica. It's not a funny thing anymore to act that way because you want to act that way and then blame it on your culture. No, you're essentially shitting on your culture, and then you want to shit on other people and say they're whitewashed. But all you're doing is shitting on your culture worse than whitewashing your culture. So take that with a grain of salt. But she does show vulnerability in that episode.
Where? Oh, the hot tub scene?
When you guys are in the hot tub. After the fireplace part. After that part when you're just I'm done talking about marriage and you leave. And then it goes back to the hot tub part when you guys are talking. You can kind of see, and she's more soft. She's always ready to fucking fight. Mm-hmm. Like an injected lab rat. I don't understand. And then she was a little kitten at the fucking hot tub. Soft. And I think you see it. You physically see the change in her when you're having a vulnerable conversation.
I'm looking back on the day that set actually happened, and I don't even remember how we were able to be vulnerable with each other, because that was a very real scene. You could say that what do they call it, a novella, a lesbian, fucking soap opera. We were called out on Total Netflix, a fucking the journey of Tiff and Mildred is a fucking soap.
But it seems
I remember that was a very very real experience because we could really talk about that. We've had some moments, but I think that was the first time on
let's
that
talk about
journey,
it.
because at that time period.
I guess this is the last 15 minutes they was talking about. But I'm not about to sit here and listen to double talking. So I'm just gonna end this video out here. I just want to make sure that that's what's happening.
Mildred was still adjusting.
I don't feel
But what the fuck are you gonna do about it?
No.
So why would all of a sudden Mel say break up?
Because they're physically talking to the person.
To me, being biased, I would be like, hey, having
a second time with her green shoes. Okay, did you stop loving Mildred right then and there?
I mean, no, but I was with Sam.
Does it matter? Did it make you stop thinking of Mildred?
Because I just like.
Okay, so but Mel.
Don't be talking to you. Point blank. Period. It's disrespectful
You said
to
it
the
in context,
relationship.
I define that. You said it in
Period.
I saw it as, again, I was not in the same shoes as a lot of other cast members. I didn't have a romantic connection, and neither did Mildred. So the way I see it is so different. I could be an outsider of a person watching TV looking in, having a point of view, and then I can be a slight inside but outsider inside the experience with them, but not actually them, So I'm kind of seeing it from this, but I don't know what I would do if I were them. But I can see that, like, to me, being biased, I would be like, hey, having a trial marriage partner for 3 weeks, I'm investing in just them, and I'm not talking to my ex. I'm not talking to my ex. But now I'm back with my ex.
Yeah.
You should also give your partner the same thing. I get it. It's tempting because you now have feelings for this new person that's walking in.
This person.
But I feel like that person deserves that time. Like, I don't know, that's just me, but like, again, I don't know, because maybe I would do it differently and navigate.
Yeah.
You never know what you would do until you actually are in that situation. My heart was not torn between two places. It was Mildred the entire time.
That's what I was saying though.
Yeah. And it was also, for Mildred, it was me the
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and watch 10 minutes worth of double talking, but I agree. You gotta allow people to feel how they feel. Mildred with her, oh, it's because I'm Latina, we not falling for that shit. But I just wanted to come and react to this video. This video is very, very long. I think the next video is the reunion video. So I will be reacting to that as well. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up, leave a comment down below if you agree with anything I've been saying. And I love you guys so much if you stuck around to this point, and I will see you guys in the next video. Love you guys.